Hello everyone, it's Tammy Plunkett and I am the founder of Big Sky Author Services, and here is your weekly writing tip. This week I want to talk about the first draft. I am a huge fan of Anne Lamott, especially her book Bird by Bird, which is a book about writing. And in it, she calls the first draft the shitty first draft. And I am going to use that language for the rest of this video, if it's okay with you. The reason why we call it a shitty first draft is that it is not your best work. It is a very rough and tumble and ugly and messy first draft. And I often tell my clients that when you sit down to write your first draft, you don't stop to self-edit, because anytime you self-edit, you're also allowing the inner critic to come and play in your sandbox, and you do not want to have an inner critic editing or writing your book. You want it to come from that wise self that is connected to the flow of creativity. So the first draft, you start where you start and you go through. Now, I often also tell my clients to have a very good outline, and that way they don't have to write from the first page, especially if it's a business book where there is no character arc that follows through. Just write and don't stop, and don't self-edit, and just make it as shitty as you possibly can, because you need to know that you're going to be editing this book. I also urge you to write to yourself for the first draft. I always tell people that you need to write with a reader in mind, and that we are writing in service of the reader. And I fully 100% stand by that statement. However, the first draft is for yourself. You are writing it so that you know what your ideas are on this topic, and you're trying to get it all on one page. You also are going to do some healing in your shitty first draft. And that is also a place for you to write in the margins and just, lay it all out. And I hate you, and I hate that this happened to me, especially if it's a memoir. Or even a business book. Sometimes we make mistakes and we lose a whole lot of money. I certainly did. And it's like, I hate that I did this. But you get that all out, and your healing work is also done in the shitty first draft. I love shitty first drafts. And this is your permission to make it as shitty as you possibly can. Just let loose. Grammar doesn't matter. Spelling doesn't matter. You can use the words really and very and and when I write fiction, I actually put in parentheses, insert sex scene here, because I know that's where it goes, but I can't be bothered to write a sex scene right now because my kids are in the other room and I'm not in the mood. So that's how you write a shitty first draft. You just write. And don't write it for your mom. Don't care if your mom's ever going to read it. Don't care if your husband's ever going to read it. Don't care if your business guru is ever going to read it. You write it only for yourself. You have full permission to go out and write your shitty first draft. Now, I want you to tell me what your shitty first draft is about. What are you writing about? Put it down in the comments, and also leave me a comment with a question that you'd like me to address in future videos. I'd love to address them. Thanks. Happy writing.